Hello everyone, and welcome to After Alexander. Episode 61, Clipping the Hawk's Wings. I don't know how you feel about this, but my perception has been for a while now that Hyrax is the dynastic equivalent of a mosquito buzzing at the edge of a room. He must have been driving Seleucus to distraction these past few years. Well, the events of today will show, even the most courageous hawk must eventually stop flying and hit the ground. As we've seen before, Antiochus was being attacked on his western border, so he decided to move on the east to harass his brother once again. Looking to reverse his brother's fortunes in Syria, Antiochus crossed the northern Euphrates and then travelled down into Syria. However, Seleucus, or at least his army, was there to greet him, if not with open arms, then at least with drawn swords. Achaeus, by now surely an old man, and his son Andromachus were in charge of Seleucus' armies. It's interesting to me that Achaeus is leading these armies against Hyrax, despite the fact the House of Achaeus appear to have been backing Hyrax when he first rebelled. Grainger reports a split in the House of Achaeus, with the old guard backing Hyrax and the youth switching to Seleucus. Although he would be married to Hyrax's daughter Laodike, one noteworthy convert is Achaeus the Younger, who we will have reason to talk more about down the line. Laodike, the daughter of Hyrax, was born in about 230 BCE, so the earliest possible date given for her union with Achaeus is 216 BCE. This generational split wouldn't seem to explain the father and brother of Laodike I being on the side of Seleucus. Who knows, maybe the complete anarchy in Anatolia left them believing supporting Seleucus was the best way forward. If so, it must have been an interesting conversation for Seleucus when his uncle and cousins came knocking at his door. Anyway, there was a battle and Antiochus did not do well. Admittedly, he did exploit the fact that he was allowed time to bury his men to kill 4,000 more of his brother's soldiers. However, it didn't change the overall picture. He fled to Cappadocia and to Ariamnes, who was the husband of his sister Stratonike. He then discovered that Seleucus and Ariamnes were plotting to have him handed over. Hyrax ran away and, according to Bevan, tried one final time, in desperation, to bring the fight to Attalos. There were 4 battles, which destroyed Hyrax, and the last of them is mentioned as taking place at Coloe. Grainger instead places this conflict after Attalos fought against Hyrax with the Galatians. Grainger places this conflict after Attalos fought against Hyrax with the Galatians, a legacy of their teaming up at Ancyra, and then against the Galatians alone. The latter, against the Telistobogii along the Caicos River, resulted in a victory which saw the Galatians promise to keep their hands off Pergamon. After he defeated Hyrax, Attalos turned his attention towards Seleucus and his right-hand man Lysias, who was a representative of a landed family along the royal road. After his defeat, Hyrax ran away to Armenia. Either before or after he turned up in Armenia, Hyrax took the fight to his brother yet again. I'm starting to suspect he didn't get the message the universe was sending him. There is numismatic evidence that he might have gone into East Cilicia, but we think he might also have forayed into Mesopotamia. He battled with Andromachus, who he had previously beaten when the latter tried to invade Armenia. However, Hyrax was defeated and left yet again. The picture is now pretty bleak for Prince Hyrax. Both Anatolia and Thrace had slipped through his fingers. His petty kingdom was in ruins, and he was a wanted man wherever he went. He ran away into Europe and into Thrace, which we last covered as a region during the campaigns of Antiochus II in episode 40. Ever since the Third Syrian War, Egypt had been in control here. Hyrax either gave himself up voluntarily or was captured by Egyptian scouts, and was arrested in 228 or 227. However, he apparently wooed a woman and got away with her help. He and his band of followers wandered around Thrace until they ran into some Gauls. These were, apparently, part of the kingdom of Tylis in the heart of Thrace. There are 2 versions for what happens next. The first says that Hyrax just chanced upon a pillaging Gallic band, without even mentioning them as being part of any kingdom, and that this band killed him. There's even a dramatic detail from Pylacus, where his horse was mounted by their leader Centauretus. The horse then threw itself off a cliff in order to avenge Hyrax. The second version of events is that the kingdom of Tylis had possession of the prince, and that they killed him when they found out he would be worth no ransom. After all, nobody wanted him back. Truly not the end the hopeful prince would have wanted. His death leaves Anatolia in flux once again. However, we will not be dealing with the implications of this next time. Instead, we will be turning our attention to the fact that Seleucus had supposedly been hamstrung in his attempts to be effective in both the west and the east. This is because the empire he has left also leaves something to be desired. It's time to watch Antioch get rowdy before we can even think about turning our attention towards Anatolia once again. That's it for today's episode. Thank you all for listening. Feel free to get in touch at the show's email address for any questions, comments, or topic suggestions for future Tangent episodes. Until next time, have a great week, everyone.